bitch. Oh, excuse you? Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we dive deep into all the juiciest headlines in entertainment, pop culture, and every now and again we might get a little political, if it flows within the commentary of entertainment news and gossip. So, before we get to the tea and stuff, grab yourself a drink, a snack, whatever, get yourself going, and let's get into this here gig. Now, before we sip on the latest trending tea, do yourselves a solid and hit that like and subscribe button down below, and also follow all my social media platforms as well. So we had some technical difficulties earlier, and it seems like my computer once again is moving. It's like I'm moving slow or whatever. We're still gonna, I guess, work on that and all that other good stuff. But glad you are all in here. Well, I know there was some people on Facebook. They were like, "What happened?" And I was like, "They were watching from there." And I was just like, "Well, this is the tea of what's going on." So I was giving everybody a moment to get in. Come on in before we get to these topics, which we do have a lot of. We're gonna talk about the latest. The SAG strike is finally over. We're gonna break down the Grammys. Nicki Minaj is spilling a lot of tea, ahead of her new album that's coming out, Pink Friday Part 2. We got some tea on Hugh Jackman, Timbaland, Britney Spears, Little Kim, Azealia Banks dragging Troye Sivan, and a whole lot more. So without further ado, let's get into the topics, okay? But before we do that, after that, I should bring up this whole thing. So a lot of stuff's been going on this week. We're also going to bring down the whole Keke Palmer thing. There's a lot to unpack with that. So I got a lot to, to spill on that whole situation. But, they released, it was a lot going on. The actor strike is over. Just in time, with SAG and stuff, they're able to get back to work. Tim Scott was able to hire himself a girlfriend and bring her out of the Republican, whatever the fuck that the heifers call themselves doing. Them and Buzz Lightyear with his big old head, Vivek or whatever. I can't stand him. He's an idiot. I want somebody to punch him in his throat. But anyway, So Tim Scott brought out his imaginary girlfriend, the good Christian girl. I'm like, child, when this old wide hip heifer coming out of the closet? He's shaped like Kris Jenner's man. But anyway, so there's that. Then there was also People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive issue that just came out, and they chose Patrick Dempsey, which I know people was gagging over that. I was even shocked. I mean, I like Patrick Dempsey, Dr. McDreamy from Grey's Anatomy, but he ain't been Dr. McDreamy for like 8 damn seasons. So I don't know how y'all dug him up. I would have been like, what has he done lately? But he's about to be in the new Thanksgiving movie that's coming out, which I actually want to see, directed by Eli Roth. And Eli Roth is like, well, he doesn't direct as much, but he's one of my favorite horror directors. Like, I loved Cabin Fever. I also loved Hostel and Hostel 2, even though, the gore and stuff in there, it's a little sensitive now. Like, as someone else who love horror movies, I'm getting squeamish as I get older, I've noticed. So yeah, I like all that stuff, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is a play on the fake trailer they did during the the Grindhouse movies, Planet Terror and Death Proof, which I actually like. Death Proof I didn't particularly care for. I thought it was like too talky, which typical Tarantino. But I think he did that movie because he wanted to throw shade at the Matrix Reloaded. It was like, oh, the big car thing wasn't, it was realistic and stuff. But I'm like, okay, so you did this realistic car scene, but the rest of the movie was boring. And I love Kurt Russell, and I love me some Rose McGowan because she's in it too. But I was like, besides all of that, and the women that was in it, and you had what's her name, stunt double from Kill Bill. Uma Thurman, Zoe Bell, she was the stunt double in the Kill Bill movies. Y'all had her up in there. But don't get me wrong, Patrick Dempsey's a good-looking man, but that wasn't who I was expecting y'all to pull up as the choice. And the rumors are swirling that he might reprise his role. I believe his name was Mark Kincaid in Scream 3. They're going to have him come and be in Scream 7. There's allegedly, word on the curb is they working out trying to get Neve Campbell to come back and stuff. She said she'll come back if y'all pay her. I mean, that was the issue with the last one. But, and then I saw some people online talking about they were going to boycott if Neve doesn't come back. I'm like, okay, so the diehards will boycott, which, no shade, I don't think there's that many of the diehards. They're not going to hurt the box office. And that's just the reality. Because if that was the fact, then y'all would have hurt the box office for Scream 6. And, that was like the biggest grossing film to come out without Neve Campbell being a part of it. So, I'm hoping that they come back and they bring her back. And I hope that they work on that idea. I know that all the people that have been following Scream were going to bring up with her and the husband who eventually married and had 2 kids. So I'm hoping they work that out. But Patrick Dempsey as the choice, I know some people was like, oh, everybody was pretty much on board with it. Like the fans seemed to be satisfied. I'm like, who did y'all talk to? Because the internet was divided. I've seen a lot of people of color, black folks, they was like, really? That's who y'all choosing? And then I saw, this was another one. So they have, they have their list of like, best sexiest musician. They have like sexiest morning show. Like, I'll give you an example. So Mark Consuelos was picked as the sexiest morning show host. I don't know who they polled, but first of all, Mark Consuelos is so boring as his wife's co-host on Live with Kelly and Mark. I don't know how y'all been fucking all these years, but y'all are dry as a prune when y'all be on that show 5 days a week. Then you had Pierce Brosnan as sexiest grandpa. Trevor Noah was crowned sexiest funny guy. Chris Hemsworth was chosen sexiest blockbuster star. Ryan Gosling was selected sexiest Ken. Taylor Lautner crowned sexiest podcast host. And Travis Kelce was named sexiest athlete. That's probably because he's now hunching, allegedly, Taylor Swift. So now anybody associated with her, it's like she's got this hold on the industry where it's like anything this girl does, white media will eat it up. But the point I'm getting to is like they picked Harry Styles as the people's sexiest musician alive. So he beat Tim McGraw, Bad Bunny, Future, and Lenny Kravitz. And Tim McGraw. Really? Where they do that at? Okay, so this is why I love black people. Because they were like, okay, whatever with y'all mediocre ass list. So Essence went and put together their list of sexiest men alive, and they picked I think they picked like 7 choices. So the first choice was Jalen Hurts, who I believe is an athlete. I think he's in the NFL. Number 2, their second pick is Method Man. Child, have y'all been seeing Method Man lately? Man is in his 50s and look like he's in better shape than men half his age. And I can't stand Power, but I like him on that show. Pick 3, Tyler Lepley, who, is an actor. Pick 4, Daniel Kaluuya. Pick 5, Lorenz Tate. Lorenz Tate, black don't crack with him. He still look the same. Pick 6 is Skepta, and pick 7 is John Boyega. So that's the choices that Essence has picked as their sexiest man alive. And I think you could vote for that or something or another. I think I saw that on the Shade Room. But I like the idea of like, you know what? Oh, if y'all not going to give us the opportunity, we're going to create our own. I mean, black book. Quiet as it's kept, people of color have been doing that since the dawn of time. Like when MTV, y'all was, if y'all, we basically had to pull teeth to get y'all to put black people on MTV. They created BET. Then it was like, we had like the American Bandstands and all them type of shows. Black people couldn't get on those type of programs. So they created Soul Train. So we always had to create alternatives when y'all don't want to let us in the room. So Essence, I would love to see y'all do like y'all own version of Sexiest Man Alive or whatever. And y'all say it's biting off of people. Quiet as it's kept, white folks have been colonizing our shit for, eons. So if we want to take from y'all in, which was supposed to happen. So all right, so that's all I want to talk about with that. Let's move on and let's talk about this whole SAG situation. So now, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. After 118 days, the SAG-AFTRA strike is over. And I was like trying to figure out, okay, I was trying to make sense of what the tea was because there really wasn't that much information that came out about it. We just do a couple of things, and I've been watching all the interviews where, Fran's been on the, interview circuit and talking about a lot of the stuff. So I got a broader sense, and I think they did they actually did. They did a press conference early Saturday morning where they talked about the details and the deal, then why they all signed on. So I got a little more insight here, which I'm actually excited about. So it said, shout out to Entertainment Weekly for this. The SAG-AFTRA National Board voted on Friday to approve because, once they all came to agreement, it had to go before the board. And then the lawyers had to look over everything, dot every I, cross every T on both ends. So SAG-AFTRA and the AMPTP, they all had to look at their stuff and come to the conclusion. So that way it's ironclad for the next 3 years, and then they go and, we're back to this shit again. And hopefully, in the next 3 years, we don't end up in a situation where we're having another damn strike, because this is the longest one in history. And every 3 years, there's always a renewal of the contract. And I always wondered in the beginning, I was like, so why do they, every 3 years it has to be? And I think I didn't understand it, but now I'm realizing like it's smart to do that because the industry is constantly changing. It's constantly evolving. Now, mind you, these executives, they struggling to keep up. The rest of us are evolving. The actors, they learn, part of their job is to adapt to new situations because you work on a project for 3 months unless you're Mariska Hargitay and you got a job set in stone for, 25 years doing Law and Order. Any other regular actor, it's sort of like you only work for like a couple of months and then it's like you're unemployed until the next gig comes along. So actors are used to adapting. These executives, they just want shit to remain the same and think like they don't want to evolve. And it's like, you have to evolve with the times. And I don't think they can keep up with what's happening with the whole streaming thing and AI and all this other mess. So anyway, the SAG-AFTRA National Board voted Friday to approve the new contract with an 86% approval vote. Now, up next, the contract will go to membership for ratification. Now, speaking at a press conference on Friday, Union President Fran Drescher and National Executive Director Duncan Crabtree, Ireland, revealed some details around the new contract, including higher wages, a bonus for actors on successful streaming projects, and guardrails against artificial intelligence. So what it was that I know they wanted, the big thing of why it took so long also is because the actors, they wanted to get a percentage of the streaming. So however much a show streams or whatever on Netflix or whatever the case is, they wanted to automatically be giving a percentage to the actors. The AMPTP disagreed with that. And I'm like, but so what happens is that they get a bonus, which I think is much better, on if the program is successful, they get a bonus. But how would you know if it's successful? Do we go by like the top 10? Or do they have access to the amount of people who watched the specific program, like a Stranger Things? Like, do they all get a bonus? I mean, this is their final season, so this will probably be the only bonus. But I think what they were worried about is like getting residuals. Like, how when stuff goes into syndication, so anytime somebody watches, they get paid. So they said to account for inflation, SAG-AFTRA originally demanded an 11% general wage increase for the first year of the contract. In July, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which is the AMPTP, countered with a maximum offer of 5% increase. The new contract compromised with a 7% increase in general wages, effective immediately, with future increases in 2024 and 2025. The Total package includes more than $1 billion in new wages and benefit plan funding. Also said that SAG-AFTRA also secured consent and compensation guardrails on the use of AI, which is great because, what their thing was, they wanted to, use an actor's likeness without even getting their consent. Like, for instance, y'all saw that mess that was The Flash and that bad CGI. They put Christopher Reeve in the movie, and the man dead, and I don't even think they asked the Reeve estate if they could use his likeness. They just put it in there because I guess, the likeness of him is owned by Warner Brothers, that he played Superman. So they had this in a vault, they pulled it out, and they put it in the movie. Nicolas Cage, I wonder if they asked him, because they used the old footage, because remember, once upon a time, he was supposed to be Superman. And that never happened. I believe Robert Meyer Burnett, who's another YouTuber, producer and all those, he does a YouTube show, Observations. I believe he produced a documentary on that whole film that was supposed to happen. I believe Tim Burton was supposed to direct it. So they used that footage in the movie. So that was the big thing, is the fact that they wanted to use not only like a big name actor, but background actor. So if with me, once upon a time, I used to do background work, and I'm thinking I'm still, I ain't tell nobody this, but I'm even thinking about getting back into acting. So now my vibe of getting back into that field is rejuvenated. So, they want to use background actors like this and never pay them. And it's like, these people, this is their livelihood. A lot of times they don't really make the money that like a Jennifer Lopez or a Will Smith or a Brad Pitt or, a Chris Hemsworth, who makes $20 million plus a film. Like they're not making that kind of money. They're living hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck. And they depend on that. And for you to an actor, when they're required to be on a set for 12 to 14 hours, and you only want to use my likeness once, pay me $200, and then send me on my merry way, and then you just going to use me in other projects and I'm not getting paid? No, that's not right. So what am I supposed to do? I got to go out and get a job in the meantime when I could be looking forward to having this money in going into my bank account. So yeah, so there was that. So they wanted to use a digital replica. And from what I'm also hearing, the SAG-AFTRA has secured the following for on-set work. They said sets must have proper hair and makeup services for all performers, including those with diverse and textured hair and complexions. Also, the requirement for intimacy coordinators present for scenes involving nudity and simulated sex. Well, I actually thought that they had intimacy coordinators, because I've seen many of interviews where they talk about, they filmed a sex scene and they had an intimacy coordinator on set who were watching, making sure that people, where you place the arm, that things are going well according to plan, there's no sexual harassment, someone was actually coaching them through those scenes, because yes, everything is mechanical on a set, even down and choreographed, even down to the hunching. They're not really fucking. Well, even, I think in porn, they choreograph the porn. So, I always thought they had intimacy coaches, but I guess they want to make sure that they have more of that on set. And I like the idea, I don't understand how this is just now coming around, having proper hair and makeup services for all performers. There should have always been somebody on set there should be diverse hair and makeup people on set. So if you have a Viola Davis or Angela Bassett working, they shouldn't have to slap a wig on their head and go to work. It should be that, okay, I want to wear my natural hair, or this character requires braids or whatever, and I need somebody who is black and understands my texture on there to make sure that my hair is not breaking off, or whatever the case is. And that's not the way it should have been. It should have been done. There should be somebody on set with that. And it baffles me that how Hollywood is so wrapped up in this thing where it's like their mindset is always reads white. Like, y'all don't really think outside of your little white bubble. And I understand that a lot of white people run the bigger aspect of the industry. But if you're going to talk about diversity and all this other stuff, y'all need to actually showcase that and not just bring it up whenever there's an award show because y'all want applause. So I don't understand how we never had that going on. So I like the fact that that is, that's a part of the situation now. And yeah, so that's basically it with that. So I'm actually excited. Oh wait, so I should probably read what Fran Drescher said since she is a part of the headline. It was saying that was the piece that came together on the very last day, on day 118 of the strike. This is what Mr. Crabtree said, Crabtree Island. He said, we feel that there is a robust and comprehensive set of protections for our members against the implementation of AI in the industry. It allows the industry to go forward. It does not block AI, but it makes sure that performers are protected. Their right to consent are protected, and their right to fair compensation and employment are protected. As for the streaming residuals, the MPTP had essentially rejected all of SAG-AFTRA's proposal in initial negotiations. Other wins, they said, include improved relocation benefits, which they definitely need, regulations on self-taped auditions, and increased residuals for stunt performers. Yeah, y'all need to really take care of your stunt performers because they really put their lives on the line. I've been hearing so many stories about, there was a stunt performer that worked on that last horrible freaking Resident Evil movie with Mila Jovovich. She wound up all kinds. I think she wound up paralyzed or something or another in the hospital because she did a stunt and it went wrong. So stunt people get hurt all the time. I just heard that one of the stunt guys from Black Panther passed away recently. So yeah, there should have always been something with that and relocation benefits. So like, if I got to relocate somewhere, there needs to be benefits for that. And self-tape, there seems to be more self-tape auditions happening rather than me coming into a room and actually audition because, with COVID and all other stuff, and we still in COVID, regardless of what people tell you. There's regulations with that where a lot of actors have to do self-tape auditions and send it in. So I like the fact that that was what was going on too. And then Fran said the following. She said, from July 14th to October 3rd, we never heard from the AMPTP. We went to press and said, what are they doing? What are they waiting for? Are they trying to smoke us out? Well, honey, I quit smoking a long time ago. So this is why people love her. I think they realized that they were facing a new kind of leadership in me and Duncan. We deflected their imitation tactics. They had to acknowledge that we were demanding respect. And I think that's because, first of all, Fran Drescher is from Queens. They didn't have somebody up in there like, who was the last one that I think was before? I think it was Melissa Gilbert. They didn't have somebody who I guess could look like or present as a pushover. And Fran said, oh hell no. First of all, you're not going to push over on me. I'm from New York. I've been around the block and around the world and I know how this shit is. And y'all not going to try to bamboozle me and try to intimidate me and thinking like, you know what? If we just ignore it, then it should go away. So y'all went and spent 118 days in a standstill and a stalemate with some bullshit when you could have fixed the situation in the beginning and you ain't want to do it. And then you realized there was a budget, so y'all had to come and do what needs to be done. So now, and I forgot to pull up the list of shows that is supposed to be coming back. So, so it's unfortunate that this is how it is or whatever the case is, but I'm just glad that, a lot of the shows are coming back. And those shows, I should point out, in November, first of all, I think a lot of the shows are going to be cut down. So I'm thinking like when you get your Law and Orders and all those type of shows, the Young Sheldons, a lot of those network shows that we watch, the Grey's Anatomy, I think it's going to be a 13 episode cap off. So, but I don't know how they're going to work out the finances with that because these type of shows are used to coming on for like 22 episodes. But because of this strike and because Hollywood wanted to, they played themselves, that now they got to stick with 13. So I guess they got to work out how they're going to pay these people and then they got to, I guess, take a pay cut. So late November, they said shows like Night Court, Stranger Things, Max's The Penguin, Welcome to Derry, which is, the prequel to the It movies. They're doing a show on that. Yellowstone, Hacks, Abbott Elementary, The Rookie, Grey's Anatomy, Bob Hart's Abishola, Tracker, Young Sheldon, all the FBI and shows, The Equalizer, Blue Blood, Chicago Fire, all the Chicago shows, all the Law and Order shows, The Irrational Quantum Leap. I think the Irrational only had 2 episodes left before they were done with their season. So they only shot 8 of the 10 episodes. The Sandman, which I actually like the first season. That Apples Never Fall and Chucky. Now December has The Cleaning Lady. That show is still on. All American, 911, Will Trent, NCIS, Go, CSI Vegas, The Neighborhood, Animal Control, Alert, Duster, Grownish, and Hysteria. I thought his Grownish was done. And later starts supposed to be Emily in Paris, Alien, and a whole bunch of other. And I guess that's it. So yeah. So I'm glad a lot of the shows are coming back. It'll be interesting to see. You know, in the meantime, I'm still playing catch up on other shows that I've been watching. So good luck, AMPTP. Well, not AMPTP. Good luck, you know, Fran and all my actor friends. And I'm glad that y'all are all getting back to work. Now, from one thing to another, let's talk about the Grammys. So now the Grammy Award nominations have been announced, and a round of applause to SZA, who's leading the pack with a whopping 9 nominations, followed by Victoria Monet, Phoebe Bridgers, and Serban Ganea, I think that's how you say their name, who landed 7 each. On the queer music front, Boy Genius, the band that features queer members Phoebe Bridgers, Lucy Dacus, and Julian Baker, scored 6 nominations this year, with Miley Cyrus also nabbing 6 for her album Endless Summer Vacation. I couldn't really get into Endless Summer Vacation. But look, finally, the album that people just kind of like scoffed at or overlooked or whatever the case, because I don't think that, besides Flowers, I don't think that album really did much. But it got her Grammy nomination, so I guess now to bring attention to the album. We're still on the queer front, by the way. Janelle Monáe and Brothers Osborne scored 2 nominations, the former in the Album of the Year category for The Age of Pleasure, which also got nominated in the Progressive R&B Album category. The latter, which features openly gay singer TJ Osborne, was nominated in the Best Country Album and Best Country Duo Group Performance category. Cyrus, Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, and Lana Del Rey also scored in the major categories, Album, Song, and Record of the Year. Now, speaking of Monet, she joins contemporaries Coco Jones, Halle Bailey, and Ice Spice, as on the last part as an Ice Spice, as first-time nominees. While we're on Ice Spice, who by the way secured 4 nominations, Nicki Minaj received her first nomination in 7 years for their collab Barbie World. One of my friends said, there should be a law stating that any song under 3 minutes should not be nominated for a Grammy. And I agree. That's like, these songs are like jingles. They're like the size of a jingle. 1.5 minutes. These should not be nominated for no damn Grammy. But anyway, so Ice Spice was excited that she got her Grammy nomination. She took the social media and wrote that. Also, Jelly Roll wrote, I haven't cried like this since my father died. I literally can't believe it. As of today, I've officially been nominated for 2 Grammys. I'm trembling with tears. And you know what? I got to give it up to Jelly Roll, because I just saw him he posted something on the, I think they showed a clip of him when he won the CMT award, you know, country music. And he was like, he won Best New Artist at 39. And people are like, oh, he's been making music for a long time and all this other stuff. But I guess in what he's doing now, he is considered a new artist. So he's like, and I actually like that, because I feel like there's such an emphasis in this business on you have to be 17 or you have to be 22 in order to be a pop star, an artist, or successful. And it's like, what about us uplifting and giving credence and energy to people who are of a certain age that want to, you know, jump in? Like, what if, is it a bad thing if we had somebody who came out with their first pop record at 45? If the album's good, I'm a bump to it. I don't care how old the person is. We put such an emphasis on age. I mean, I don't know how they do in other countries. I think in other countries outside of the United States, they respect music and music artistry and you know, artists as a whole. In America, we're so caught up in who you sleeping with, or how many followers you got on Instagram, or, you know, or youth. Like, there's so much emphasis that we put and energy we put into that. And it's like, why can't we support an artist who decides to release a record at 45 or at 50 years old? First of all, it gets greater later in a lot of situations. And fame doesn't have an expiration date. Now, if you died, then it does, because your ass expired. But there should be an allowance for that. So I love that for him. The fact that he's like, you know what, I'm doing country music, and at 39, I won Best New Artist. I also want to bow down to international pop icon Kylie Minogue, whose album Tension is not only her most well-received album in the US since Fever, but she received her first Grammy nomination in 15 years for Padam Padam. And Troye Sivan, who we're going to talk about later in the show, also scored 2 nominations, and he will go head-to-head with Mother Minogue in the Best Pop Dance Recording category. When I heard all this, I'm like, it's cute or whatever. I don't know if I'm really on board of wanting to watch the show. I was going to say, well, I ain't watched it last year, but actually I did. And last year's Grammys was actually, like, watching it, it was pretty good. Like, I love the Bad Bunny performance. He opened the show, except I didn't like, what they did in regards to, I feel, with the closed caption, and they couldn't bring somebody diverse up in there and translate what he was saying in English, not even in English, but like just put it in closed caption in Spanish. They put that book, I forgot what was they put up there. They put some BS up there. But the performances last year were pretty good. And so I'm really excited for, I don't know if I'm really excited for the Grammys. When I saw some of the nominations, I'm like, okay. I think I'll get more excited when I find out who's performing. All I know is, child, make sure y'all don't have Ice Spice performing, because if that performance that she did at SNL is what we got to look forward to, y'all can pay it, because I'm not trying to sit through that mess. I'm not trying to watch some girl in a little Orphan Annie wig being stiff, like she performing for some friends in a backyard barbecue, rapping her little songs, and not giving no stage presence. So, no, I don't want to see it. And Nicki Minaj is like, you know what? Good for her that she's finally getting a nomination in 7 years for a Grammy. And I feel like with all these recent interviews, speaking of Nicki Minaj, I feel like with all these interviews that she's doing, as of late, I think she's trying to clean up her image. That's what I'm getting, because she has, like I've been saying for so long, and so many of us pundits and bloggers and commentators, she has such a nasty reputation. I feel like now she's trying to clear up her image. I don't know if I buy it. I'm gonna sleep with one eye open on this whole, whenever stories come out with her. I'm not buying what she's selling, but I'll give you your grace because there's always room for people to evolve and change who they are. But don't give me the side eye still, because it's like when you have I always say, when you have a bad reputation and we've seen how you behave in public, you don't just automatically give people the benefit of the doubt or the grace, because it's like we see how you do, and there's only so many chances you get with somebody. You have to constantly prove. You have to really put in the work and prove yourself. So, the point I'm trying to get to, because I was setting it up, because it seemed like hell must have froze over, or like I said, this is some sort of act. Because Nicki Minaj, she had her album coming out on her birthday in December, went on social media and asked her fans, not to threaten people on her behalf. She said, "Dear Barbz, be sure to never threaten anyone on my behalf, whether on the internet or in person, whether in jest or not. I don't and never have condoned that. We have an amazing album right around the corner, 12/8/23. It feels so surreal and euphoric." Yeah, so she has Pink Friday 2 coming out on December 8th. And you know what? I like the fact that she has this album. She's doing what she's doing. Working on the record and all that other stuff. And she has the album coming in. She didn't allude that there's a big celebrity, like there's a big guest that she nabbed that's going to be on the record. They're doing a song together. A lot of people automatically went to Beyonce, because y'all can't think outside of the fucking Beyonce situation. Like, do y'all not know any other black artists besides Beyonce? And I have to say, she ain't the only one that Nicki could work with. So a lot of people was assuming, because Nicki did put out this message online, that she extended an olive branch to Remy Ma. So people are thinking it might be her. And I think that would be good if she had Remy Ma on the show, because then it's like, I mean, in her song, because it's like, oh, y'all found a way to like bury the hatchet after you got sheathered and you hadn't recovered from that y'all could come together and do a song. That would be hot. And I have to say, the Vogue article, like what production just showed in regards to the cover, there's a lot of great photos in there. Like if you go on my website, I do have the full shoot of photos. You know, you see her and her son, Papa Bear. You see her in a lot of fashion looks. Like she looks really good. So you can't deny it. Nicki Minaj is a good looking woman. I just don't like, you know, the attitude and stuff. But I feel like it's just weird. I mean, I don't understand how she goes to the. How am I trying to say this? She's never condoned that behavior on her behalf, but we've seen how like people will write stuff about other artists on Twitter, and you'll like the comment. You'll respond sometimes, and I think a lot of these Barbz love the attention because Nicki's just like me. She responds to me. She sees me. I feel seen. So they feed into that because you're gaslighting them in a lot of situations. And she has been notorious to do that. She's been notorious to gaslight her fans into doing her bidding. Or she'll get on Queen Radio and she'll say little things. Barbz, I need you to fan out and look for this or do this, do that. And we've seen how her fans will dox people and how they bully people, and you have co-signed on that. So I don't like the fact that you're about to turn 41 next month on the 8th of December, and it seems to me that you're maturing a bit or evolving. I hope that's what this is, and not just you pulling a stunt to try to clean up your image because you want to look good in the eyes of, you know, you want this record to sell. But in that article, she also opened up about, you know, being addicted to, she was prescribed Percocet for menstrual cramps because she was in a lot of pain. I know a lot of girls who go through a lot of pain when it comes to menstrual cramps. So she said that they prescribed her Percocet, and the way she was taking it, she got, she didn't realize it was a narcotic and that it had, you know, an addictive side effect. And I was like, who in the hell, first of all, as a doctor, would prescribe anybody Percocet to deal with menstrual cramps? To me, that sounds like either you're lying or that doctor needs to be fired. Because they should not be prescribing it. Girl, you should have been taking like some damn Tylenol, you know, pain relief or something, because I think that would alleviate the pain. You need blood thinners. Why would they give you, you know, prescription medication? That's just ridiculous. And then she also in the article said that she regrets when she did a podcast called The Run Through with Vogue. She said that she regrets getting plastic surgery. She said, I guarantee you, if you change anything on your body and do anything surgical and all this, you're going to more than likely, not definitely, more than likely, look back one day and say, I was fine just the way I was. And that's what happened to me. I could not believe even some of the photos that I didn't love. Now, during the interview also, you know, she talked about the moment she joined Vogue editor-in-chief Anna Wintour at the Caroline Herrera show in September 2011. She said that she does not like to look at older photos of herself because she didn't like the way she looked. She said, I didn't like being skinny, having a flat butt, having boobs that didn't sit high enough. It was a lot of things. And when I look back at myself now, I literally was like, oh, I'm about to look like that girl again. The reason why I wasn't able to look back at my old photos was I didn't like the way I looked right physically. And now I love the way that person looks physically. Well, it's like, you know what, that comes with age too. It's like when you're young, you feel insecure. You don't necessarily like how you look. People, you know, say things about you. They call you string bean, or they call you this big head, bobblehead. You know, you hear all the shady comments. And so, you know, when you get to a certain plateau, it's like, you know what, they give you that advance for the album. It's like you use some of the money for that and use some of the money to get some butt shots and some breast implants. And that's what she did, even though she only admitted to the butt shots. I think she did that when she interviewed with Joe Budden. She didn't really reveal whether or not she had anything else done. But girl, we could look at you and see you had your boobs done and you had your butt done. Because she had no ass. She had no boobs either. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing, like, I'm somebody who is not against plastic surgery. Like, down the road, if I want to get fillers, but, well, I don't know if I'm doing fillers, because you're not going to have me out here looking at no damn blowfish. But if it was ever a point that I wanted to get, like, Botox, or if there was ever a moment that I'm like, I work out so much at the gym, that there's, like, that stubborn belly fat that just won't go away because of when you get to be a certain age, it's hard to lose certain fat on your body, and it's like, oh my God, let me just go to the Dr. Miami and get this last 10 pounds of fat sucked out of me. Shit, I would do it. Shit, I would not hold back on I would not be opposed to plastic surgery if the time permitted itself. Like I wouldn't turn it down. So I'm not opposed to plastic surgery. Now, if you out here doing too much when you're looking crazy, like Jocelyn Wendelstein or somebody, or when you get too much filler in your face like Madonna at one point, and Courtney Cox, then we got a conversation we should have. But Nicki Minaj's plastic surgery has been it's tastefully done. So good luck to you, girl. I'm curious as to what is gonna be like, if the album is good or not. I'll listen to it. Shit, don't throw tomatoes at me, but I did listen to Chris Brown's new album, 1111. I was listening to that the other day. Well, actually, when it came out on Friday, I was working on the topics for this show, and I was like, let me just listen to some music. So I put on Chris Brown's 1111. Yes, don't hold your tomatoes. It's actually a good record. I like that he got a little bit into the whole Afro beats, and he was doing this other part. The album's really good. It's got 20 tracks on it. You can't have a Chris Brown album without him putting like 55 damn tracks on it. But at least he kept it shorter than usual. He gave us 20. I also listened to Brandy's Christmas album, and it's not just standard Christmas album. And that's why I like the fact that people are doing Christmas albums now, but are not doing like the typical, oh yeah, we're gonna do, we're gonna sing White Christmas, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, all those basic and Silent Night. They had other songs that kind of, they're R&B tracks, but they flow within the whole Christmas vibe. So I like that. And then her daughter, Sarah, sounds just like her in a lot of ways. Like, you could definitely hear the diction and the way her daughter sings. Clearly, she learned from her mama. So that's what I was doing. So shout out to Brandy. Shout out to Chris Brown. Even though he out here cussing people out like Omari and shit. So, yeah. And Nicki, good luck with you on this new album. But like I said before, I'm side-eyeing you with this whole don't deal with the whole thing on the Barbz. But I will say this. It's better she say something than not say nothing at all. Because there's a lot of people out here that they fans be fighting their battles and they just be silent. So at least now she's acknowledging it and she's saying don't fight people on their behalf. And I just see some of her fans online, I'ma still do it. Okay, well then you do you then. Good luck to you. All that good stuff. Thoughts and prayers. I'm trying to figure out what to say with that. Ciao. Okay, let's get into this Keke Palmer story because it's a lot. So actress, singer, and TV personality Keke Palmer has filed a restraining order and is seeking legal full custody of her 8-month-old son, Leotis, with Darius Jackson. Now, at the time, it was unclear as to why she opted for sole custody instead of joint custody, but with all the tea that's been coming out regarding this relationship within the last 24 hours, she just might get her wish. The Nope star also selected that the reasonable expenses of pregnancy and birth be paid to her per the petition. However, she has asked that both parties be responsible for their respective legal fees. Now, shortly after Keke's restraining order became public knowledge, actor Surpassing Jackson has asserted himself in the drama between his brother Darius and Keke and took to social media to allege he has encountered a vile, abusive, manipulative person and offered positive energy to the babies, saying, "The most vile, disgusting, abusive, manipulative person I've ever encountered in my entire life. Abuses almost everyone. Y'all will see. Just send positive energy to the babies. Any child in the middle of something like this does not deserve it at all." Wow, so damn sad. Now, he didn't say it was Keke. He didn't mention her by name, but clearly, who else you talking about? You're not going to throw your own brother under the bus. Now, around the same time, Sarunas tweeted and deleted his cryptic post. Sarunas' baby mama, Dominique Perry, posted in her Instagram stories a gif of Michael Jackson in Thriller laughing and enjoying the show in front of him. That was like, when he's sitting in the theater eating the popcorn. So people went on social media, they dragged her over there, like, okay, bitch, what you trying to say? They're like, what you mean? Nico, what you mean? They're like, okay, girl, like, what you trying to get at? So now, after she was dragged on social media for posting that, her vague little, comment, which did come across like she was making light of what happened to Keke. Like, you were just sitting there, like, watching the show. But I don't think, now, after she explained it, I don't think that's what that was. So she posted this on Instagram. She said, there was a repost of a post I made on yesterday. There's situations where you laugh to keep from crying. Let me give clarity. I would never laugh at anyone that is subject to domestic abuse, female or male. As it's known, abuse comes in different definitions, silent and physical. Only the people enduring such behavior truly understand the effect. Women have been manipulated, abused, lied on for centuries, and put their head down for the fear of not being believed. We need to stop being afraid. I may not be at the highest platform in my career just yet to be heard and or supported by the public, but whenever that time comes, everyone will listen. God is in control of my steps and I respond accordingly. I will be vindicated in his timing. Pray for the abusers and protect the babies. Will always be fine. Now here's the thing. I don't feel like you need to be at a certain point in your career and a certain plateau for you to go in and let people hear for your voice to be heard. I don't like when people think that it's like, oh, well, I'm not a big enough celebrity or whatever the case. I'm like, girl, if you implying that Sarunas put his hands on you, which is what this is basically giving, that there may have been some abuse on your part, birds of a feather flock together, then speak on it, in the words of Candy Burris. Now, speaking on it, just when you thought things couldn't get any messier, Keke's mother jumped into the family group chat and came to her daughter's defense by saying that Sarunas was well aware that Darius was abusive because he also embodies the same characteristics. Now, we do have a clip of Keke's mother basically going in and letting have and calling Sarunas a fuckboy, which was hilarious, by the way. So we got that clip. I want y'all to hear that, and we will come back and talk about the rest of this topic. So, roll the clip.
Look, I've never done anything like this. I've been in this business for 22 years. I've seen a lot of stuff, but this is I can't help myself. For Sharonis Jackson to post on his Twitter the ridiculous stuff that he's posted when he knew his brother was abusive. I went to Sharonis over a year ago and told him that his brother was abusive to my daughter. And he said, well, I used to be like that too. What? So now he's posting on Twitter like he's this special guy when we know he's the biggest fuckboy in Hollywood. He's disrespectful to women just like his little brother. He taught his brother how to be abusive. So he don't get to act like he's this special guy. No, you're a fuckboy and you're a part of the problem.
And mama said what she said. And I'm sitting there like, if Sharonis has been out here being abusive to women, which is, it seemed like Dominique insinuated that, which I agree with, and then let's speak on it. But here's also, as y'all can see, this is the latest photo. This is actually a recent photo of Keke. This is a brand new photo of her outside on the phone with Leotis. I mean, we could say it's a setup for her to be out there so that when the paparazzi get the photo and she looks a certain way where she's coming across as looking like, a woman scorned and abused, which I'm here for. Like, speak your piece. I believe everything of what Keke was saying because, first of all, the breadcrumbs was there from the beginning. We as a wise woman by the name of Maya Angelou, may she rest in peace, said, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And Darius showed us who he was. That time when he went and, Keke went to go see Usher in his residency. And he went and popped off on social media and was showing signs of controlling, manipulative behavior. And Keke alluded to all of that. So they said, and the biggest bomb, and this is why shout out to, this is where the Virgo be Virgoing, because, she is a Virgo. And, you see Darius here, trash ass, bastard. She dropped the big bomb because, us Virgos, we come with a receipt and we drop the bomb when you least expect it. We always got to have our I's dotted and our T's crossed, which is why don't play with us when it comes to receipt. We will hold files away for a rainy day, and the rainy day has come and she has pulled out them files. because she submitted security footage showing the apparent abuse as part of her plea for the restraining order. She told the court, "I am very concerned for Leo's safety with Darius given his violent, volatile, and jealous nature. Comments he has made which have caused me to grave concern and the lack of restraint Darius has already exhibited regarding his temper in front of our son." Now, according to Radar Online, Keke claimed that Jackson had been abusive during their relationship, which lasted from June 2021 to October 2023. The abuse during our relationship was not just physical, but emotional and manipulative. Darius would love bomb me and make me feel like I was the most important woman in the world, only to get extremely distant and cold over a perceived insult to him. This is what she wrote in an emotional declaration. Palmer also claimed Jackson trespassed at her home unannounced on November 5th, 2023. And this was just a couple of days ago. She said before 11 a.m., Jackson burst into her bedroom and demanded to see their son. Palmer said he wanted to take their 8-month-old to a football game. I don't know what you was going to get bringing an 8-year-old at a football game. And he's cute, by the way. But apparently, I guess he wanted to show him off. So Palmer opposed taking their son. She claimed Jackson started screaming at her before he lunged at me, grabbed at my neck and face, knocked me backwards over the couch, stole my phone out of my hands, and then ran out of the house. She said the police were called and spoke to all parties. Palmer said the police told her to file a restraining order. In the petition, Palmer described another incident that went down in February, 2022. That said, Darius choked me and body slammed me onto the stairs in my home after becoming violently jealous and irrationally angry over a bikini picture. Palmer also said Jackson became enraged over, the bikini photo. She said she showed him a photo of her workout results while at a friend's party. She said she only showed him the photo, but he still became upset. Over the drive home, I was worried that we would get into an accident because of how angry he was. Darius spent the rest of the night yelling at me, not letting me sleep so he could keep yelling at me. In the bedroom, he slammed me on the floor and slapped my head from side to side. The next morning, he was standing at the bottom of the stairs near the front door, screaming at me as I was coming down the stairs. When I was almost at the bottom of the stairs, he grabbed me around the neck and body slammed me back onto the stairs. Palmer included screenshots of the security camera footage from both incidences. And now, as of this report, I should point out that Darius has been ordered to immediately turn over all weapons in his possession. He also must stay 100 yards away from Palmer and their 8-month-old son. In addition, the actress was granted sole custody until further notice. A hearing has been scheduled for December 5th, where Palmer can argue to make the order permanent. As part of the order, the judge said Jackson has 24 hours after being served with the order to turn over his weapon to local law enforcement. The weapon will be stored while the case plays out in court. So, with all this said, this is crazy. I feel for her. This whole thing with like the outfit, you a mom, like when you say that, it's like, wait a minute, but that's supposed to be your girl, and you should be secure as a man to know, like, okay, if you're dating an actress, what comes with the territory is that, as the man, someone who is dating someone who is in the public eye, their job is to go on red carpets and look glamorous and look sexy and go out in public and actually present a certain image of themselves. Like, you're not expecting her to dress as an Amish woman. So, the signs were there from the beginning. And I did see that there were people that clocked it. And then there was a point where Keke was like, okay, y'all need to stay out of my business. We need to move on. And we did think at that time with the whole Usher thing that this was some sort of stuff. Oh, y'all playing with y'all relationship because Keke wants attention. And come to find out, I don't think that was, I think it was just, we were seeing signs of what really was going down. So, this story is I'm sure gonna play out for the next couple of weeks up until, the court case in December. I'm glad she got the restraining order. I'm glad that she could keep him away from them and the son. I did hear some stories about how he had made threats that he wanted to unalive himself and their son. And if this is true, then definitely y'all need to keep that restraining order permanent. And I know everybody wants to be like, well, we got to stop keeping men away from their children. But if you're going to be in a way where your mental health is at a point where you are being emotionally abusive and physically abusive to someone, and you're threatening that, because she did say at one point, if I can't have you, nobody, if you leave me, I'm going to unalive myself. And this is something that she said that he said. Then I don't want my kid around that. You need to get some help. And the son, like him and his brother, with doing this type of behavior, there's help for people out there for that, which I'm sure y'all can read down below. So I'm glad that Keke is getting the help that she needs, that she is realizing that, you know what, it's not about you anymore, and you putting up with some man putting their hand on you. You have another human being that you're taking care of, and you got to put Leo first. So shout out to her. I'm glad that she's got herself a restrainer or got herself away from him. I guess she's going to have to have security around her for the rest of her life. I remember I was having a conversation. They were like, oh, she needs to move. Where's she going to move to? He'll still follow her. Hold on a second. I got to refresh. And I would definitely keep you abreast of the story. I'm sure, like I said, this story is going to go on and on and on for the next couple of weeks until the court case actually happens, where we find out what's going to happen with that. But the press is going to be all over this for the next couple of weeks, and we'll definitely, I'll keep you guys abreast of the story as it develops. So now, okay, from one relationship to another, let's talk about Hugh Jackman. So word on the street is that Hugh Jackman is allegedly making moves to get his estranged wife, Deborah Lee Furness, to sign a non-disclosure agreement. This story that I wrote, it got 102 views. Because this is like, people are like, really, I didn't realize so many people would be interested in this story about Hugh Jackman. But they are. So, according to Radar Online, Jackson's staggering multi-million-dollar divorce deal with departing wife, Deborah Lee Furness, reportedly comes with a price tag for her as well. According to a sensational report, the Greatest Showman star is ready to depart with a large portion of his $100 billion fortune in exchange for her staying mum about their time together. Sources told the National Enquirer the payout hinges on whether the 55-year-old ex will abide by an ironclad non-disclosure agreement, which is said to have been strategically crafted to shield the intimate facts of their relationship from prying eyes. The movie is less about the financial aspect and more about retaining control. An insider told, well, obviously, that this is about him controlling the narrative. Especially when there's word on the curb that he's working on a memoir. So I don't think he wants his tea getting out. He wants to be able to control the narrative. So they also went on to say Hugh's concern has never been about money, but rather control. He is a man with lots of secrets and doesn't want any of them exposed. Let's just say Deb will not need to worry about getting a job. She'll have enough money for the rest of her life if she signs an airtight non-disclosure agreement. The couple have been together for 27 years, began their journey long before Jackman ascended to superstar status. It actually was Aussie actress and producer Furness who held the spotlight at the outset. Well, but they were over in Australia, she was the biggest star until he became, Wolverine over in America. Then the roles flipped. They do not have a prenup, and he is poised to be exceedingly generous with his $100 million fortune, provided she exceeds to his stipulations. Jackson and Furness announced their split in a joint statement back in mid-September, which presented the couple as a united front as they embarked on a new chapter in their lives as single adults. Though the couple appear to be on the same page, sources claim that the actor was totally lost without his wife of nearly 3 decades. Nearly 2 months later, the actor is said to be writing big bombshells for his forthcoming memoir. Sources close to Jackman say he decided to start writing the memoir because he's finally being honest with himself and the divorce, and explaining his side of the story will be the first step. Well, I am curious as to what's going to be in this damn memoir, because word on the curve, it's funny when I posted this on my social media. I'm sure y'all already know what the big bombshell thing that everybody's like alluding to is the big secret with Hugh Jackman is going to come out. Pun intended. As in the closet. So a lot of people think that Hugh Jackman is gay and that he's going to come out in his memoir. First of all, he's had a significantly major career. He's made more money than I have in my account. So, you know, and shout out to Hugh. He's here with Ryan Reynolds. You know, they've been hanging out a lot because, you know, they're about to start shooting the rest of Deadpool 3, which I believe they have majority of it filmed already. I think they had probably a month left on reshoot. I mean, not reshoots, but just finishing up the film. So, I'm really excited because I feel like from what I heard, they swapped it, and now I forget the exact date, but it's supposed to be coming out this summer, Deadpool 3. So I believe what was going on was while the actor strike was going on, they were working on the effects and everything from what they have filmed so far. So I'm actually looking forward to Deadpool 3. I'm looking forward to seeing Hugh Jackman in Deadpool 3 as Wolverine. And you know, they've been hanging out, they've been like close pals and stuff. And when he comes out with this memoir, I'm actually looking forward to reading it. So, now as far as like what's going on with him? Oh, I was like, what is going on with my my computer keeps. He would be with somebody like her because she looks way too old and he's way too young. So, you know, the ageist thing. So they were like, oh, we don't believe that relationship that they together. But I'm actually looking forward to seeing, reading the book and all that case, and all that's going on with that. Yeah. So good luck to you, Hugh. I'm sure that, well, if you're giving up a lot of your money, he's probably gonna give her half, which would be like what, $50 million? That's enough money, and plus after that he could still make money in Hollywood making movies and stuff, so he'll be set for life. 50 million is better than nothing. I'd be like, okay, just go your separate ways, I'll split with you. I have to tell you, did I ever tell you I actually met Hugh Jackman? That is a good looking man, honey. One time I worked at AMC in Times Square. He came for Logan. These photos are from the Daily Mail, by the way. He came for the Logan screening, and myself and another manager went down to the lobby to bring him in and escort him with his team. And he got in the elevator, and I almost dropped my phone. I got so nervous with him in the elevator. I dropped my phone for some reason. It almost went down the thing. He was like, look out for that, brother, or something or another. I can't remember exactly what but I got like mesmerized. I'm like, oh, he's tall and good looking and all that good stuff. So yeah, Hugh Jackman is a snack. So, child, if you out here sleeping with the menses, and if that's the tea you about to spill, welcome to the family. But we'll see when the book come out. All right, so let's move to this next topic, child. Let's talk about Timbaland, bitch ass. So, I did talk about this on my TikTok. I did 2 videos. I did one with Candy defending Justin Timberlake when she got dragged. And then I did another one with Timbaland where he just went in and let have with his misogynistic comment about Britney Spears, saying that Justin Timberlake should have put a muzzle on her because of what she's spilling in the book, The Woman in Me. So he has issued an apology, I should say. And now, for those of you who, I'll give you a quick brush up. He did an interview and he was asked, I guess they was talking about the book or whatever. And he said, she going crazy. I wanted to call JT, man, you got to put a muzzle on that girl. And he said after, the heavy backlash, whatever, he did, he went live on TikTok, showing remorse for his comments, saying, I apologize to Britney fans and her. Yes, you know about respecting women. Hell yeah. Because they said that, because somebody asked him a comment about You know about your attitude about women, like respect women and those other stuffs, because he was being misogynist and disrespectful, which I agree with. But then my theory was on the whole thing of the reason why he was coming at her hard, because, you know, people was bringing up the past. It was like, why would he come out of left field and just say that? So were you hating on the fact that you wanted to work with Britney, you know, a couple of years, like over a decade ago? I think around the time when she did Blackout, he wanted to work with her around that era. He was working with Justin Timberlake and everything, because that Justin Timberlake, apparently he don't know other producers besides Timbaland and Pharrell. But Pharrell, you know, he's over with Louis Vuitton making $1,000 handbags and all that other stuff. So he's over in Paris doing that, while Timbaland is out here chasing, you know, the fame that once was. And I feel like because Justin Timberlake is one of his biggest and only clients, he's trying to work with him again. I think that's what he's mad about also. I think he's mad at the fact that Justin Timberlake had this new album coming out, which was the follow-up to Man of the Woods, which is that horrible Duck Dynasty record that he released. And he was, you know, this was supposed to be the comeback record, and Timbaland worked with him on it. And they were ready to roll out the record, and then here come Britney with her memoir, and people are mad. So he's upset because now the rollout's been screwed up. I don't know if this album will really do well. I guess you gotta wait till the dust settles. But even when the dust settles and Justin's ready to come out and, you know, promote this record, he's got to face the firing squad, because you know people gonna ask. And so, and then on top of that, he was supposed to work with Britney back. He wanted to work with Britney back in the day. She said no. She refused, I guess, because of his association with Justin. So instead, she worked with Timbaland's protege, Danger. And that's when we got Blackout, which, according to the Britney fans, is like one of her biggest records that they absolutely love from her. They love the Blackout era. I love the Blackout era. You know, the production and everything it still holds up to this day. So I feel like he's bitter on that. And then people were bringing up in the stories that Timbaland is actually not a nice guy. He's an asshole. Claudia Jordan revealed on TGIF when they were talking about this subject, she said that he was one of her worst interviews, that she was asking him questions and he was giving yes and no answers. He would just give like one word answers. Yes, no. Like, first of all, I've been wanting to punch you in your face if you do that shit. It's like, so you can't come up with something else? Like, you acting like you too good to be, like, to answer some questions. Then there was a story that Funky Dineva revealed that he said he knew somebody, or I guess working at a cleaning company, and they were hired to go clean his house. And he's one of those where it's like, you can't speak to him, you can't look in his direction, none of that stuff. So he's deeply insecure, clearly. And then some people was bringing up that, you know, he's just a nasty person, that he had a bunch of people kicked out of a restaurant because he wanted to go in there and eat. So he's like one of those, somebody with a big damn ego. It's like, child, ain't nobody paying attention to you. You the producer. You stand behind the scenes and put the keys and press the buttons and twiddle the knobs. People ain't looking at you like that. I know you wanted to be a star, but you were no Missy Elliott. You can't rap like her. I know you tried. Shout out to Magoo. You know, he rest in peace. Y'all work together. So I'm glad he apologized. However, I'm not buying it based off the stories I've heard about Timbaland being an asshole. So if he's constantly like this in other ways, like he's nasty and rude to people, I'm not buying into it. And I know he's about to divorce his wife, the one that he married because she looked like Aaliyah. Let's not forget about that. So I'm glad you apologized in theory and on paper and all the other stuff because you did it in public, but I'm not buying what you're selling. I feel like you full of SHIT with that whole situation. Now, speaking of Britney, her mother, Lynne Spears, is breaking her silence regarding allegations made about her in her daughter's memoir. Now, in the memoir, The Woman in Me, the pop icon 41 opens about her relationship with her family, claiming that after she received mental health treatment in 2019, she believes her parents disposed of many of her prized possessions stored at Lynne's house, including Madame Alexander's dolls, as well as years worth of her writing and original poetry. Now, Lynne 68 disputed the allegation on Thursday, taking to Instagram and sharing photos of some of the alleged items along a note to Britney. Now, she did post a couple of pictures. She posted one journal on the bed, and she posted, I guess these are the Madame Alexander dolls that she had like it looked like in a glass case or whatever. So she did, she posted that and saying like, no, I still have them. I didn't get rid of it. She said, I'm not sure who told you I got rid of your dolls and journals, but I would never do that. That would be cruel because I know how much they mean to you. They are special to me too because of the years we went collecting them. Of course, I still have your things, and I'm happy to send them to you if you like me to. Please let me know how much I love you. So apparently they exist. They're there. We see the pictures. Her mother posted on her Instagram. But what I found interesting is that of the many things that Britney wrote about her family in the book, that's the part of the book that you decide to focus on? Some Madame Alexander dolls? I don't know what a fucking Madame Alexander doll is. I said they explain it, excuse me, in the, what they are, which is like, they're modeled after fictional characters and historical figures like Scarlett O'Hara or Queen Elizabeth, as well as characters from Little Women. So that's basically the type of dolls they are. It's kind of like, are they like American Girl dolls in a way? I'm assuming. And, I feel like, as I've said many times, and I've talked about it with the book, is that, Britney was that sweet girl from Louisiana that was just that backwoods home girl that was just that wanted a sense of normalcy, even though she loved singing and dancing, and that's what she wanted to do. But I guess she didn't realize that the other stuff comes along with it. The Palmer circumstance, the whole thing where you got to go through motions and be that pop star. But she had to figure out how, like a Madonna, where it's, I present you this persona on stage, but I also have figured out a way to balance a personal life. And to have that persona where that's me over here, the stage person is a completely different person than who I am when I'm back home. And I think Britney tried to incorporate both into her situation. She tried to do it behind the scenes and in person, and people wasn't having it. So, like I said, I don't understand how, Britney said so much other stuff. Like she said she believed her mother had a hand in getting her in that, put up in that conservatorship and stuff. You didn't respond to that, but you responded about her giving them journals and dolls away. Okay, girl. We'll just move on from that. Because that's just weird to me. Okay, so we'll do one more topic and then we'll take a break. So let's talk about Lil' Kim. So with Lil' Kim's speaking of books, it's her highly anticipated book about to surpass Britney Spears as one of the most anticipated memoirs in the literary world. Now, on Thursday, November 9th, Lil' Kim jumped on a live stream to talk about her long-awaited memoir, The Queen Bee. During the session, the rap legend responded to questions about his delay. She said, the book has been done. I'm going to write y'all a letter to tell y'all what's going on, but it's not really cool, but I don't want to use this to talk about it. I really don't, but just know it's like that. It's crazy. She continued by making a surprising forecast about the book's potential profits, saying, when we post our pre-sales, we be surpassing the Bible, and that's crazy. The Bible, I don't take that lightly. I already know that it's some crazy itch going on behind the scenes. You have to be really careful when you deal with these book companies because they try to take advantage of you. I'm a little black woman. Kim first announced The Queen Bee back in 2021, as previously reported by Revolt. She confirmed that all revisions for the book were completed back in July. It's been a long journey. Beehive edits are finally done, she tweeted. Thank you to my bestie soulmate Mark Jacobs for doing the forward. In a description shared by publisher Hatchet Books, I think that's the same company that did Britney's book, The Queen Bee will give readers a fearless, inspiring, and refreshingly candid look into Kim's life and decorated career. From her earliest rap beginnings, growing up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and her teenage years spent with the Notorious B.I.G. to her rise as a solo icon, Lil' Kim not only blazed trails for women in hip-hop, but also inspired the careers of those who followed. And y'all better recognize it read. She also talks about the hidden moments of her region. of her reign, sorry, including her complicated high-profile relationships, the misogynistic industry she fought to change through sex positivity, the challenging double standards of self-image and beauty in the spotlight, and the momentous act of loyalty that ultimately landed her in prison. Now, this definitely sounds like a damn good read, but my question is, people still read the Bible? That you talk about your book surpassed it? I didn't know, like, the sales could be crazy enough that this is about this surpass the Bible. I'm like, you can get a Bible for free from the hotel. You can just steal it. Well, I would think everybody has a Bible, or they have the Bible app. But yeah, based off of what was explained, I definitely want to read Little Kim's memoir, because I was thinking, I was like, you know what? With Britney Spears being the last of the generation that has like a juicy story to tell in regards of a memoir, like with this new generation coming up and them spilling all their tea on Instagram and all forms of social media, will the whole memoir idea die out? Like I kind of wonder that with a lot of these books, that the whole, like, will there be any interesting people from now that will be able to release a memoir and will care? Now, I did say before that I do care about the Hugh Jackman memoir. I'm gonna definitely check that one out. He better be dropping some good tea up in that. But the Little Kim one, that is definitely a book I definitely would love to read, because she is someone who has fought to incorporate sex positivity in music. I remember there was one episode, I forget what talk show it was that she was on. They dogged her over her lyrics and what she was talking about and the subject matter and the wardrobe and all the other stuff. So Lil Kim been through it. She walked so your Nicki Minaj's and your Megan Thee Stallions and your Glorillas and your Sexy Reds can run. So yeah, she was out here pioneering. I don't know if anybody wants to bring it. Oh, but Foxy Brown. Yeah, Foxy Brown came out with 2 albums, Il Nana and China Doll. But she did not have the same impact musically, in my opinion. She had some bops, but she did not have the same impact with MTV and the fashion industry and all these other people like Little Kim did. And plus, also, let's not forget, she is a Virgo like me, Inga Marchand, aka Foxy Brown, had a nasty attitude. She was known to have like a nasty reputation, a nasty attitude. So it is what it is. And good luck to you, Little Kim. I'm definitely looking forward to reading this book. I hope you work out whatever issues you have with your business, and the company that is representing and distributing the book can get their stuff together, and we can at least have this book out by the first quarter of 2024, because it is long overdue. You said 2021 is when you first announced it, so yeah, we need the book. All right, y'all. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, we have the latest on. We're going to talk about Whoopi Goldberg and her comments about millennials. We're going to talk about Anna Navarro. She is standing 10 toes down on the comments she made about wanting to breastfeed Maluma. I got thoughts on that. Lauryn Hill, child. Anybody who continues to support this heifer after this, y'all deserve what y'all get, because she out here acting ungrateful, and somebody y'all should be grateful that she show up at all. Because the people dragging her about her lateness. We're gonna talk about Bad Baby and how much money she made from OnlyFans. Andy Cohen begging CNN to reverse the alcohol ban for New Year's Eve, because if there's no alcohol allowed and he got to sneak it, they can't bring the funny. It's just gonna see a queen trying to read and an uptight queen just being even more uptight. And then we're gonna talk about Azealia Banks going on a deranged homophobic rant about expired twink Troye Sivan. So we're going to take this break. We'll be right back with more of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. My opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Yeah, so playing devil's advocate for the people that are probably going to try to run up in here and say some mess. Why now?
I was scared of losing my job. It wasn't just myself. It was myself, my brother, my friends. I had all gotten jobs on the show, and I thought if I came out about it, that they would probably figure out a way to get rid of us all.
And should the lawsuit basically go in your favor, what are you hoping to gain from, everything?
The criminal investigation, I hope it comes to fruition. I filed that report back in November and still haven't heard anything back from the Ruston Police Department in regards to anything being turned up or anything happening with that. Hopefully it does. That's ultimately what I hope happens, because I think when somebody does this to somebody, they deserve to be punished in a criminal way.
My opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch.
Welcome to Drinks and Drag, the only show where you get the tea with no chaser. With the cast that's bold and bright like none other, filled with fun and drag, fun games, and lots of laughs.
This has to be scripted, because if this was a real thing, this would be a huge HR case with the way you'd be speaking to your staff. But going back to the topic in hand, but this rumor has been going on for years since the very first time I've ever seen Watch What Happens Live, which was like 5 years ago. Before I even see the show, I've heard this to be rumored. What's crazy is even Kathy Griffin has said it a few years ago and was like, this show keeps getting picked up and is not doing well, and he's so unprofessional. Everything that we've said about him, and on top of that, offers drugs to his guest that shows on, and is at times rude and very cut short with it. So my thing is like,
I'll give you a hint. He was in Pulp Fiction and a Scientologist, so that's who he was talking about, allegedly.
JT.
Yes, sir.
100 people. And he got in trouble for that.
Okay, let's not get you in trouble anymore. My last
No,
question.
please don't.
I would choose Tom Cruise
You
because
didn't
he has
know?
all the new fillers in his cheeks, and I feel like that'd be good.
Tom Cruise. You know his wife knows about it, right?
Wait, Tom's knows about it?
I don't know that.
The wife knows about it. Him.
Neither one are married.
Isn't Tom
No,
married?
the
No,
one that
wait, no.
divorced the brunette, the
Oh.
dark. Yeah, she knew about it.
She knew that you had with him.
No,
Oh
no,
my God.
no.
So this sounds like a big lawsuit.
Shout out to TikTok. Can I show last week because we did the Valentine's episode, and Lindsay was like, "Oh, I." Oh no!
My God.
Not Cassie.
Not Cassie. Dang. What?
Oh, he is shady tonight. That was funny.
So make sure that you follow us on all our social medias at Drinks and Drag Show. And stay tuned for a new season and so much more coming your way. And we can't wait.
To give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. We're back. Oh, my voice. I was like, normally I'd be hitting them. We back, bitch. Okay, so welcome back to the show. It's funny enough when during a commercial break when we saw the clip of Discretion Advised podcast where Raphael Alencar was spilling all that tea. He was actually at Red Eye yesterday for the finale of the same podcast. So he was on there along with Melissa Gorga from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And I'm most likely gonna watch when it I'm hoping, I'm sure that they filmed it in front of a live audience because there was a live finale taping, which I think is a great thing to do. I'm that's one of my goals to film a podcast in front of a live audience, the finale, the premiere, like something in between, or just doing a show like that in general. And I know that Dang and DCO does that with a lot of the podcasts and stuff. Yeah, so they filmed the Discretion Advised podcast on Friday, the finale of their second season, and they had as the guests Raphael Alencar and Melissa Gorga. So I'm curious as to what both of them are going to be spilling when what they spilled when they were there, because if there's anything like what he said the last time, there's gonna be some jewels he dropping. And then with Melissa, they're probably gonna ask her. They probably asked her about what went down at DragCon. DragCon. I don't know why I'm thinking DragCon so much, because I think that's the only convention that I know is like on and popping. But they, she was at BravoCon last week. So I'm sure that they probably want to know like the juicy details of what went down. If she came, if she had run into Teresa and Louis and them, what's the family dynamic like? What could we expect from the upcoming season of Jersey? Because they've been separating everybody and having them film scenes with one team and then another group's on the other side. So it's a whole mess. Whatever they drop the episode, I'm gonna definitely check it out. So why am I promoting other people's podcasts? But I just say all to say because based on that clip, it just reminded me of that. And I was going to go to the live taper actually, but stuff had happened on Friday. I wasn't able to go. So I'll just wait till they drop it on YouTube, which is what I watch. But anyway, let's get back to the topics. And speaking of talk shows and, things of that nature, let's get into talking about Whoopi Goldberg and The View. So Whoopi has come under fire after she made some pretty lazy and misinformed comments implying that the reason millennials feel that raising a family and buying a house are out of reach is because they simply aren't working hard enough. Now, shout out to MSNBC for this. They said, speaking on The View, host Whoopi Goldberg insinuated that millennials feel like traditional life milestones are out of their reach because they're not working hard enough. She said, apparently, millennials and Gen Z have a very much different view of the American dream than past generations. Data shows that soaring inflation, student debt, and limited room for advancement in the workplace has made them feel that milestones like affording a home, starting a family, excelling within the corporate structure are out of reach. Does every generation feel this way at some point? I say yes. But clearly she was reading the teleprompter and not understanding what the hell she was reading, because if she did, it was explained to her in the story why kids, of the generation, the millennials and Gen Zers, feel the way that they feel. That they do feel like the milestone of having a home, starting a family, excelling within the corporate structure. When Whoopi Goldberg was coming up, I'm sure home ownership was like between 40 and 80 grand. Now it's double that. It is probably, I would say, almost $500,000 you have to have in order to be able to own a home. You have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to get a home now. So I just felt like she was out of touch with what she said, but let me finish. So she said, I'm sorry, if you only want to work 4 hours, it's going to be hard for you to get a house. This is what she said before adding, every generation is told you're going to do worse than your parents. And you know what? People pick it up and they do what they do and they raise themselves. It's called being a good citizen. No, it's called abuse. Because I don't know how she's talking about, you just pick yourself up, dust yourself off. And this is not an Aaliyah song. You don't just pick yourself up, dust yourself off and try again. This is not a situation where it's to me, that sounds very Republican. Was, you got to pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, trust and believe, a lot of people in this country are picking themselves up by their bootstraps and still not able to make ends meet. I've talked to a lot of friends who are, millennials, and they are working 2 jobs, full-time jobs, going to school. They got to pay off those student loans, but they're also having to work 2 jobs and still not able to afford, living a lavish lifestyle or living a comfortable lifestyle, not even a lavish lifestyle, just a comfortable lifestyle where, I pay all my taxes every year. I pay my taxes every year. I pay my rent on time. I pay off my, my car note and all other stuff. I have all that paid off. I'm buying groceries, which inflation is through the roof on the groceries. Then I'm paying for all these different things. I got, I also got to pay cable and streaming services and stuff. So I'm paying that off. And by the time, I've paid off every bill, I barely have enough money to scrape, to be able to spend on me. I should be able to work, pay off all my bills because I'm a good American citizen, but still have some money left over for me to enjoy because I worked my ass off for that money. But it's easy for her to sit her wide ass in that damn chair for an hour, 4 days a week, making $9 million a year for an hour of just running her mouth and not knowing what the hell she's talking about half the time. Because most of the time, I've never understood how you are moderator of a show, but you always come across so disengaged in the conversations that you be wanting to have on the show. When it comes to relationship stuff, you throwing your head on the table and you weeping and you playing like, oh, I'm so disinterested and I don't care. And I'm like, it's cute or whatever for a moment, but it's annoying. You're giving me crotchety, cranky old lady. That's what you're giving me with a lot of your attitude. And Whoopi Goldberg has given me this, and I applaud her. She deserves all her flowers for being an EGOT, for how hard she has worked and how she's come up as like the comedian that she has and the Oscar-winning actress and doing all the things that comes with the career. She has worked her ass off for what she has, and I applaud her for that. However, with this situation, you need to understand where younger people are coming from. And I'm like, maybe talk to some millennials and see where they're coming from with that. Not your grandkids. Because, with them being, with your daughter Alex, you having one child and her having all them kids she got, and then now she's a grandmother and you're a great-grand, I don't feel like they understand what it is because they're privileged. And Whoopi is talking from a place of privilege. And I was really hoping that the other ladies would have pushed back on what she said, but I be feeling like they so scared to go against anything Whoopi says and be like, ma'am, I love you and I respect you, but you were incorrect with this. And Alyssa did push back a little bit, but I felt like she should have went harder. Kind of like Sunny Hostin when Hillary Clinton was there and she went and spoke up for the damn Palestinians because everybody was up in there talking about how, you know, anti-Semitism is on the rise and poor Jewish people and stuff. And shout out to the Jewish people out here who are actually fighting on, you know, the good fight and speaking up for the Palestinians too. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. I don't want to bring up politics on that part. I just want to talk about, they stick to this. So she irritated me with her belief. And I did a whole thesis on my thoughts and everything. It's a lot. And people went on social media. I'll read y'all I don't want to give y'all my full, you know, assessment because it's a lot that I pretty much said. And, you know, economically, millennials, Gen Z, like, that's my generation. We are worse off than our parents. And to me, this sounds like she's playing trauma politics. Oh, because you went through what you went through during your era, which is the boomer generation. Now we need to suffer. We are suffering because we're suffering from what you boomers did to this country, to this economy. What y'all have done, it's trickled down on us since the Reagan era. So for the past 30 years, we're starting to really feel the trickle down effect of the damage that was done back in the 80s and the 90s. You know, with war, us being in wars for 30 years and our, you know, economy. Now, the economy was good when, you know, Clinton was president. I can attest to that. But since then, it was just like, it's kind of been, you know, a roller coaster. And don't get me started on the twice impeached, you know, Mr. Bankruptcy. So some people tweeted the following. They said, Whoopi, girl, hush. Not one millennial or Gen Z person said they only want to work 4 hours. First of all, you don't really make no money doing a 4-hour damn shift. And if you even work the 4-hour shift, they will spread it out throughout the week. I don't even think it's illegal to have somebody only working 4 hours. I think unless you work summer youth or something, but regular people, you can't do a 4-hour shift. I think it has to be at least 5 is the cap off, or I remember part-time when I was working at when I was younger, part-time, I think like the cap is 6 hours. You have to work a 6-hour shift for that to be considered part-time. So the person went on to say, okay, well, after I said, Whoopi, girl, hush. Not one millennial or Gen Z person said they only want to work 4 hours. Now, what we do ask for is having a 4-day work week, work from home, which is coming anyway. And for you old people in power to pass the torch so we young people can actually afford life. And that's another thing, too. A lot of you boomers do not want to give up your power in politics. Y'all don't want to give up your power in a lot of situations, which is why, you know, in my opinion, I really think even though she says she liberal, she vote Democrat, Whoopi gives me fiscal Republican tease in a lot of her opinion and a lot of stuff that she says. And so I do agree with this person. What they literally said is that, you know what, for you old people in power to pass the torch so we young people can actually afford life. Because it's like when y'all die, which it seems like that's the only way y'all giving up y'all positions anyway in politics, that, you know, we going to have to deal with and clean up the mess that a lot of y'all are leaving because y'all just want to continue to deny women the right to choose what they want to do with their bodies and mess with our social security and mess with our money and fund our taxes for wars that we don't want. I could go on a tangent about that. Another person wrote, if anything, most of us are holding down 2 jobs and a side hustle. That's a fact. Sometimes Whoopi totally gets it wrong. This would be an instance. Another person wrote, Whoopi is a baby boomer. She doesn't understand anything. Another person wrote, I'm surprised Whoopi is the one talking privileged SMH. Millennials are out here pushing more than 5 days a week, trying to make overtime just to pay the rent and car insurance. Homes are at an all-time high with the risk of being scammed on a high interest rate for not having the best credit. So, yeah, so that's basically the gist of it. Whoopi is incorrect, and she basically brushed it off because she said, "Oh, the young people are mad. The young people are mad at me. Blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, they mad," and she don't give a damn. And I guess it is what it is. And We just gonna move on from it. Whoopi said what she said, and I said what I said, and I don't agree with what she had to say in regards of her commentary. She's just out of touch. That's basically it. All right, just give me a second. I'm gonna refresh so I get my background back. My opinion and Carrie Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Oh, this background going in and out. Like, I don't know. Like I told y'all, like Restream has been working my root canal nerve. You know, when I be going back and forth reading the articles, and then I come back, and all of a sudden like the thing freezes, and there's a delay in the talking. Like it's just a mess. But anyway, let's get back into the show. And speaking of The View, let's talk about Anna Navarro, who came under fire earlier this week after she made comments about Maluma. But recently she did a podcast, and she stood 10 toes down on what she said. She basically said that she wanted to breastfeed Maluma. Well, girl, get in line. So she said the following. She said, listen, if you don't want to get vulgarity and something crass and directness and bluntness, literally don't follow me. Don't listen to me. This is what The View co-host 51 said on the show's Behind the Table podcast on Friday. Navarro's lustful comments about the 29-year-old Coco Loco singer was made in a lengthy Instagram post last weekend, saying, good Lord, that boy, Maluma, is sexy. He's young enough to be my son, which might explain why I like to breastfeed him, she wrote after attending the musician's concert. Navarro doubled down on the podcast, saying, you think I'm the only menopausal woman or man lusting over Maluma? Go look at him. He looks like a Latino David. Like he could have been carved by Michelangelo. I mean, he is crazy good looking. This kid is a perfect human specimen. Now, taking a breastfeeding comment literally, Navarro jokingly said, I'm 51 years old. I couldn't get anything to come out if I tried. She's hilarious, though. And that's why I said, I don't understand why people were so bent out of shape. It was like, oh, I would like to unsee what she said. And now I will imagine. I'm like, grow the fuck up. Like, all of a sudden, this is the outrage that y'all have. So, miss me with the selective outrage. Because one person said, I always liked you and enjoyed your intelligence and humor. I'm a person who likes a good joke and fun, but I'm disappointed in your behavior lately and your vulgarity. Another called Navarro's comment a double standard and said, if a man said something similar about a female performer, they would instantly be canceled and raked over the coals. Another person wrote, why do I have a visual of you breastfeeding that boy that I cannot unsee? Then there were some people that, came to her defense and said, that Brian Tedder said that, the producer of the show, EP, said they overreacted my opinion. Another person said, breastfeeding Maluma, oh my God, only you, Anna, one user previously wrote, while another said, you crack me up, you look fabulous. And here's the thing, Anna looks good, she lost a lot of weight. I don't know why people were getting all bent out of shape over something she said about Maluma. I'll speak for me. Maluma is a good looking damn man. And if I had boobs, I would be talking about I want to put my tit in his mouth too. I'm like, why are people getting all bad? Actually, I just feel like this country is so... Y'all irritate me, and y'all be sending me over this fake outrage when it comes to like this uber conservatism, where it's like, oh, somebody says something, and if y'all watch, y'all are easily bothered or triggered by somebody saying something sexual about or admiring a younger male. And I'm sure y'all seen pictures of Maluma. He is a good looking dude. So I don't understand why it's a big deal. And I'm like, well, if it was a man, I'm like, please, men have done 10 times worse throughout the ages. And y'all have looked the other way on situations. So miss me with the comparisons and the fake outrage and all the other stuff. Anna continue being you. I mean, if y'all watch The View, y'all know her personality and how she does come across as crass, and she's very hilarious with her one-liners and some of the stuff that she says during Hot Topics. I look forward to when she's there on Mondays and Fridays, or whenever she got to come in and fill in when one of the other girls is out. So I like Anna Navarro on the show. I've always liked her. She's looking really good because like she lost a lot of weight. She ain't mentioning nothing about it, but we see the weight's coming off. I hope she's not, using Ozempic or something like it. That it's natural and she's doing diet and exercise and stuff. But so Anna, keep doing you. I'm glad you stood 10 toes down because I would too. And if I was in her position, I'd probably be feeling the same way. by Maluma. And congratulations to him because he's about to be a daddy because his girlfriend is pregnant. Now, people who need to not stand 10 toes down on their stuff and should be reprimanded and cussed the F out. Let's talk about Lauryn Hill, who is notorious for being tardy and has responded to those who have complained about her missing recent shows, saying the fans are lucky she makes it on stage every night. Time is of the essence, but fans of Miss Lauryn Hill feel as if theirs isn't being respected. Last month, Hill kicked off her Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. She's a one-album wonder, so that's the only album she put out 25 years ago. So she's doing a Miseducation Lauryn Hill 25th anniversary tour to share the Grammy-nominated winning album. According to ticket holders, Hill's reputation for chronic tardiness has again reared its ugly face. In 2021, Hill referenced the discourse in her guest appearance on Nas's song Nobody. On Saturday, November 4th, during her tour's first night stop in Los Angeles, California, Hill addressed her lateness yet again. In the video, captured by concertgoers joined by her children and mother, Hill laid it all out in front of the Crypto.com arena. They say, oh, she's late and she's late tonight. Hill told the crowd, yo, y'all are lucky I made it to that blood clot stage every night. I leave my soul on this stage, and I don't do that. do it because they let me do it. I do it because I stand here in the name of God, and I know it. God is who allows me to do it. He surrounded me with family and community when it was, I'm not reading more of this. First of all, did God tell your ass to be showing up late and being disrespectful to your fans? There was a woman that said, I read an article, and this was shortly after she did all of this, so this was sometime this week. Woman said she went and got a hotel. She drove, I don't forget from where, but I think she drove out of state to go see Lauryn Hill. Drove all the way up there, got a babysitter to watch her kids, got a hotel, went to the event. Lauryn was late. And I don't know if she showed up and she didn't show up at all. So I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head because I don't have the story in front of me. I'm not sure if she didn't show up at all or she showed up late to the point that a lot of people were leaving. And I've heard stories that she shows up late to so late to her shows that people literally leave and don't get to see the show at all, or they are halfway through. You have to come to Lauryn Hill, in my opinion, can't deny her talent. Miseducation Lauryn Hill definitely defined hip hop and R&B and soul, that whole genre in 1999 when the album came out. So she definitely defined an era with that record. However, girl, with that one album you came out with 25 years ago does not mean that you should be out here showing up late. Beyonce would never show up late on stage and perform. Her fans would probably cuss her ass out. Madonna got that problem with being late, but I don't think she's been late, bad late, like Lauryn Hill. And I feel like you ain't been in this, you've been in the industry for over 2 decades, but your catalog doesn't precede you to be pulling that attitude. So I need you to do better. You need to have a better attitude and not sit here and talk. I just felt like her answer was just so disingenuous and just tacky. And you need to, you got to do better. Because it's going to get to a point like, look, you need to be lucky that these people are showing up to your events. Because quiet as it's kept, ain't no 20-something-year-olds showing up to a Lauryn Hill concert. The people that showing up to Lauryn Hill concert is Gen X and Millennials. So I would say people in their 30s and 40s and up will be going to a Lauryn Hill concert. And a lot of people in that age range have responsibilities. They got kids, they got family responsibilities. They can't be taken off and just waiting for you to decide to show up because God said, because God willed it so. So, Lauryn, do better, please. Otherwise, you're going to be performing to, nobody in a damn parking lot singing Everything Is Everything. Well, everything ain't everything when you ain't got shit and you ain't got an audience to sing that song too. So do better. All right, so let's talk about Dr. Phil's favorite guest, Bad Baby, who is bearing all by showing off her earnings from appearing on the streaming platform OnlyFans. Now, in a post shared on her Instagram stories, rapper Bad Baby showcased a monthly breakdown of her OnlyFans earnings. Now, when Bad Baby, real name Danielle Bergoli, joined OnlyFans 6 days after turning 18 in 2021, she instantly garnered a significant subscriber base. In a screenshot, she showed that she earned an astonishing 18 million in her first month on the platform, while the number substantially diminished in May with 6.7 million in comparison. She continued to make bank with her OnlyFans subscriber base. By the time November came around, the number lowered to under the 1 million mark, but still she brought in over 38.6 million in pre-tax earnings in less than a year. As she started November 2021, she had made $883,234. October, she made $1,079,536.71. September, she made $1,575,349. Then August, it went to $2 million, so it fluctuated. What else? So it was fluctuating, and she is still active on OnlyFans. She charges her subscribers $23.99 per month. And she shared an email back in May that she received from someone who found out their boyfriend subscribed to her OnlyFans. She said, "Tell him thanks for the Birkin." That's what she wrote alongside the screenshot of the email. Bad baby, she's making easy money thanks to the platform, but last year she suggested that she is not entirely happy with how it's all played out. Now the thing that I'm glad she brought this part up, because it made me think about, like, your numbers skyrocketed as soon as you joined OnlyFans, which is 6 days after you turned 18. Somebody get Chris Hansen on the line, because y'all some damn nasty ass perverts. But they'll all follow up, well, she 18 though. In an interview with Sunday Conversation with Caleb Presley in December 2022, she was asked if people subscribed right away when she launched her OnlyFans after turning 18. She confirmed as much and was asked whether she thinks those people should be in jail. She shrugged and responded, "Yeah." And what else is somebody her age gonna say? Like, she's young. She's naive and wet behind the ears and impressionable. So, they should be, but it is what it is. Like, how do you respond to that? She'll have a better answer, I'm sure, when she turns 40 and she looks back on this. She was asked what sort of content she created on OnlyFans. She said it's a surprise, and added that most of her income from the platform comes through DMs. I feel like they're 20 to 40 years old, probably like a white man who's married with like 6 kids, definitely has a daughter my age. And that's the weird part too. Like, a lot of these people that go around and they subscribing to these platforms and OnlyFans, and y'all doing these barely legals, and y'all looking into that type of porn and stuff, y'all got kids around that age. So it kind of makes me wonder, I'm like, damn, are y'all out here doing things to your own children, or is it that y'all like that fantasy, that schoolgirl fantasy, that barely legal, just turned 18 type of vibe? And to me, that's just gross. Like, I don't find nothing sexy about kids, even in my demographic, where the gay community. I'm not into the whole twink thing. I don't get it. I've never been into like little skinny twinks. We're gonna be talking about a skinny twink later on, Troy Sivan, that Azealia Banks went in on. So that's never been my zhuzh. But yeah, it's creepy that, first of all, I feel like I'm in the goddamn wrong profession. Like, this girl making $38 million from OnlyFans, and she says she only posts them, scantily clad photos, like stuff, sexy Instagram type photos. But then she said it comes mostly from DMs. So it's probably like, oh, send me pictures of your feet. Or do she be sending them snaps of her cooch? And then, the guys send her like a fee for that. So, there's a lot of guys out here that are just perverted. It's sad that the most impressionable, y'all get into these young girls that are like barely legal, and that's the way you got to make your money, is doing sex work or just posting, doing OnlyFans at that age, and these grown ass men salivating at the mouth. But you know what? Bad baby found something that she's good at. If you like it, I love it. I'm not knocking nobody hustle, and you just could keep doing you. But I don't know how long that's gonna last. I just hope that she's invested her money, because I feel like with the OnlyFans thing, there's only been so long people gonna be into that sort of thing, or paying for whatever it is you giving them. So I'm hoping that she invested her coins. But anyway, I'm tired of talking about this topic. Let's move on to the next one. We got 2 topics left, and then we done. So Andy Cohen, who can't seem to mold the personality and be funny without drugs being involved, wants CNN to reverse its ban on alcohol consumption during their New Year's Eve broadcast. Here's what he said to E! News at BravoCon. He said, hopefully I will not be sneaking it. I haven't heard anything yet, but come on, they need to let us drink. It's New Year's Eve. That didn't go well last year in terms of viewer business about us drinking. People really cared, and I hope CNN gives the people what they want. The Watch Rappers Live host 55 then quipped, give the daddies some juice. Page 6 reached out to CNN for comment, but did not immediately hear back. Now, last November, CNN announced it was banning alcohol consumption for on-air talent for the end-of-year special, except for Anderson and Cohen. CEO Chris Lick, who, has been fired since then, after he fired Don Lemon, who I was living for being up in there being an old messy drunk. After he fired him, he wound up getting the heave-ho. So employees at the town hall meeting that on-camera drinking had damaged the news network's credibility in the eyes of the viewers, according to a Variety report which cited unnamed CNN staffers. That's some bullshit. Over the years, several alcohol-fueled moments went viral for the New Year's Eve live broadcast. While ringing in 2022, Cohen hilariously took down ex-New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio and called Ryan Seacrest's production and staff a bunch of losers. Following his remarks about the American Idol host, 48, Cohen issued an apology saying, the only thing is that I slammed the ABC broadcast. And I really like Ryan. He's a great guy. And this is what Cohen said of the ABC broadcast of Dick Clark's New Year's Eve on his Radio Andy talk show in January of 2022. He says, and I really regret saying that, and I was just stupid and drunk and feeling it. And that's what it is. It's like, you know what? People get drunk. People go and they rant, and we know that Andy is a messy drunk. And here's the thing. It's no shame, but I feel like there needs to be an exception. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still pissed at Andy, and I'm still, giving the finger to CNN for what they did to Kathy Griffin. How they treat over here, because Kathy Griffin, I thought, was a better collab with Anderson Cooper. I like their dynamic together. I didn't like the fact that they fired her, that they brought Andy Cohen in. That was messy on y'all part. So y'all talking about the brand. Then CNN, y'all don't need to be doing no New Year's special then. Leave it up to the other people. And I feel like New Year's should be a time where it is about having fun, letting loose, getting, toasted. But not to the point where you get sloppy drunk. And so last year, Andy was messy. And, I love when, the truth comes out when people drink. That's a serum. That's a truth serum. So if you're going to be up in there and you drink, I don't have a problem with it. Y'all can be messy. I enjoy the shenanigans because I'll hear about it. I'm not going to watch the New Year's special with them because I don't find Andy Cohen to be that entertaining. I find him irritating. And Anderson Cooper's shtick where he plays like the uptight gay guy, that gets tiresome too. So yeah, so there's that. It is what it is. We'll see if they add it. They probably won't. But if they don't, then maybe you should just move on and not have a New Year's special with them and see if you could do I think at one point they do it. I think Andy was doing a New Year's thing with Watch Rappers Live New Year's thing. But I think it was terrible because he had those crazy ass Bravo women, the Bravo celebrities on there, and they were just twisted. They were a mess. It was a disaster basically. So I don't know if that would actually work, or maybe it's just that Andy's not that interesting of a personality. So, it is what it is, but whatever. If they add it, no skin on my nose. If they don't add it, no skin on my nose. But good luck, and we'll see if they add it, around the time when the thing comes out. Okay, so now let's get into our final topic, which is Azealia Banks, who never has wasted a dull moment throwing shade at a celebrity who's doing better than her. Like, she's going after Busta Rhymes, she's apologizing to Lizzo, she's going in on all these different celebrities, and now her latest victim is Troye Sivan. So Azealia took time out of her busy, non-existent schedule to throw unnecessary shade at another working artist. The unemployed rapper went on an unnecessary rant on Instagram after the Rush singer revealed in a recent post on Spotify's official TikTok account that 212 was his favorite Azealia Banks song. Now, he was asked a series of questions about, he played a game on TikTok where he was, it was like in the spotlight. Where he was asked a couple of questions, you know, and he answered them. And they asked him, I guess, what is his favorite pregame song? And he said, Azealia Banks 212. And so any sane person who watched the clip, you know, they would have taken it that he was praising her. Apparently not. Because that's not how she took it. And so she said the following. She said, this is these white kids' weird way of apologizing for bandwagoning, she wrote in a post on her Instagram story, having no clue of the kind of shit happening to me behind the scenes in the industry. I'm not impressed by any of these people who I've never met in person nor had a conversation with me, not having the audacity to be as public and loud with their apology as they were with using their platform to cast judgments as if a singular me was an important social justice issue. This is what she wrote. I would really appreciate all these effing civilian ass B words to stop mentioning me, stop dancing to my itch in the club if you're not going to treat me like a human and taking back all the unfounded BS you all used your platforms to perpetuate. Then Banks went in for the kill and started to really lash out at Savon, even calling him up. She said, and you're a late condescending expired twink anyway, B. Word. We've been past Ubuntu, she wrote in a follow-up post, trying your hardest to hold on the effing weak-ass pedophilia and incest aesthetic, perpetuating that underlining double standard that somehow pedophilia practiced amongst men is somehow okay, that fueled your trash-ass music in the first place. Give it up. People hit that ass and made you a doofy-looking young man. She closed out, adding that she bets he'll pull the grift and come out as trans next. Child, get off my line with this. Now, at first, I will say this. I was confused as to why she went in so hard on him with the unnecessary shade, but you know, I did a little research and kind of find out once upon a time not long ago, Troy made the following statement about Azealia with the following. He said, Savon explained, this is from an article that I saw online. It said, Savon explained that he wanted to collaborate with the rapper but had conflicting feelings about her. Saying, I mean, I was a huge Azealia Banks fan, but that all went south a little bit. It's just one of those annoying things where you just want to support her so bad and it just doesn't work out like that. My question is, did he lie? Well, you know, did he lie though? I feel like Troy has a right to feel the way he feels in regards of having trepidations, because Azealia does have a reputation for lashing out and those other stuff where we have no context as to why she is behaving the way that she's behaving, why is she coming across the way she's coming across. So, you know, on that situation, I could understand why he was feeling, you know, a way about wanting to collaborate with her. It's like, I wanted to collaborate with her, but, you know, it was this. And maybe he brought it up because, you know, he forgot all about what he had said in that article. Nobody sits around remembering things that they said in an article about you 12 years ago. But apparently because Azealia is busy not doing nothing with her life, she got time to, you know, store away receipts in her little mental Rolodex and bring it out whenever anybody that she remembers said something about her said something about her. And then so she got to come with this whole long ass thesis on social media. So, Azealia, you make it really hard to like you and to like your music because of all this lashing out and stuff that you're doing. And I can understand if it was warranted. And then, you know, he probably, you know, I just feel like, I don't feel like he said anything bad. Like, he ain't say nothing that we ain't all been saying in regards of her and her attitude. And, you know, I don't know if I would want to work with her because of her reputation. I mean, we would like to know why you have the reputation. It could be that, you know what, she's been treated like crap in the music industry, that people take advantage of her, that people do all kinds of crazy shit while music, you know, let's work together, and then they post some type of stuff. And there's always some flakiness that goes on in this industry when it comes to people and stuff. So I was saying all this to say, Azealia, take a breather. How about you actually get in the studio, work on some music, and stop always fighting with people online? Troy's out here living his best life. He's promoted that new album that he got out. You know, he's nominated for 2 Grammys. So that's cute. And stop being so damn bitter. That's all. All right, so we have come to the end of the show, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. I did see some people online, even though nobody was commenting in the chat, and that's fine. Y'all can comment later on in the, the replay, which I know that's when the numbers usually go up. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Tune in next week for a brand new episode of Chris Avon Unfiltered. Funny enough, my grandfather is celebrating his 90th birthday next Saturday. So, but I'm still doing a show because that party is going to be from 1 to 6. They did like early because when it comes to having my grandfather, a 90-year-old man, y'all not going to be partying until the damn 2 in the morning. So I will be here doing a show. I'll tell y'all all about it and stuff. And so we'll definitely have a show and stuff next week. So thank you all for watching. Until next time, ciao, darlings. It's Asian baloney wash. Annoyed. Hey bitch. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. It's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch.